Rich Eisen reacts to rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart putting a big charge into the New York Giants season. All right, here we go. So Jaxson Dart made his debut, Russell Wilson was benched for Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart had to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Lo and behold, Jaxson Dart led the New York Giants to a win. Now, this is what ailing franchises need. And this is what happens a lot with ailing franchises where you get this influx of youth. All right, for the Giants, it's Cam Skattebo, it's Jaxson Dart, it's Abdul Carter, and Malik Neighbors before he got hurt. And it changes the entire identity and it changes the entire narrative around the team. Now, the Giants were thoroughly outplayed in that game. Total yards got destroyed. YPP, they got destroyed. They should not have won that game. Jaxson Dart threw for like 111 yards, but they did win that game. And I guarantee you, Giants fans feel a whole lot different about the future of that team than they did when Russell Wilson was throwing fourth down passes off the goalpost. I use this comparison, but in 2017, the Saints had a similar situation. The Saints were stuck in the mud. They were stagnant. It was Adrian Peterson was in the backfield. Right, they come off of 3 straight 7-9 seasons with Sean Payton and Drew Brees. The conversation in New Orleans was, I don't know, maybe Sean Payton and Drew Brees maybe the window's shut. I don't know, maybe Sean Payton, maybe it's not the same. Maybe Drew Brees, maybe we need to start over. Offload some pieces, get rid of Drew Brees, trade him, see what you can do, and let's start over. All of a sudden, Alvin Kamara started getting touches instead of Adrian Peterson. Michael Thomas started getting targets. All of a sudden, Marshawn Lattimore was taking over on the defensive side. The Saints found their identity, rattled off like 11 straight wins, and then the following year, they were the best team in the NFL until the referees made a whoopsie-poopsie in the NFC title game. And a whole new window was open for the Saints. A whole new energy, a whole new identity, a whole new vision. Everything was different because they got that injection of youth. And that's what the Giants have now, at least for right now. Does this mean the Giants are going to rattle off 10 wins? No. I think they lose in New Orleans this weekend. But for Giants fans, it's a completely different story, even though the roster, the coach, front office is all the same.
Jaxson Dart, everybody.
Oh, yes.
Hey, I'm like, the Giants are crazy to start them against the Chargers. And Brian Daboll says, call me crazy. I'm doing it. And guess what Jaxson Dart does? Jaxson Dart leads the team down the field and starts the game with a touchdown drive of 89 yards in length.
So and good.
Yeah, 13 for 20, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran like 10 times. He ran a ton, which we knew was going to happen. His rushing attempts prop, I think was 6.5, 5.5. I saw at Fanatics. We hammered it all week long. Easy cash. And Jaxson Dart did what he had to do, and they got the win.
Taps it off by running it in himself. Ran it in himself. Look at Jaxson Dart running it in. And takes a 7-0 lead on the Los Angeles Chargers by becoming the first quarterback to lead their team to an 80-yard touchdown drive or longer on their first drive of their first career start since Patrick Mahomes did it. That's right, Giants fans. You've got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
Well, that's not
for one game.
Yeah, that's the headline.
For one game. Last rookie quarterback to beat a team 3-0 or better in his first career start since Phil Simms did it.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of good players, Mahomes, Phil Simms.
1979.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Giants fans. You've got a Super Bowl winning quarterback like Jaxson Dart. Let's go. Giants fans need this because they also can't have fully nice things. Malik Neighbors has to blow his knee out jumping off the MetLife.
Horrible to see. I was really looking forward to seeing the Malik Neighbors, Jaxson Dart, Cam Skattebo kind of take over and become the new Giants core and see what they had this season. Then him having an injury, absolutely horrible to see.
Live turf. Yeah. Just check out Odell Beckham Jr.'s X feed on what he thinks about that turf. That's a monster there.
Oh yeah.
That's being carted off along with, I guess, the turf. That doesn't help moving forward. But what a win, taking down the Chargers, who looked superb for the first 3 weeks, go across the country. They lose Joe Alt getting carted off.
He had a high ankle sprain, so he'll be out for a couple of weeks.
We'll see how serious that is. Doesn't look good. They already lost Rashawn Slater. Justin Herbert throws a couple interceptions because this is what the Giants need to do. Just score touchdowns. Don't turn it over. Let the defense do the rest. That's the formula. And that's Sexy Dexy.
Sexy Dex.
Damn near putting it in the end zone. That's what you need to do.
We talking playoffs, so
Giants have an interesting, again, it's just crazy, coming into the season, we were saying similar things about the Giants that we were about the Saints, where, people wrote the Giants off as this is one of the worst teams in the NFL. And we were looking at them and we said, I don't know, man. Like, at the time, we were saying Tyrone Tracy is good. The defensive line is elite. Malik Neighbors is elite at the time, saying Russell Wilson can at least be a serviceable quarterback. I like Brian Daboll as a coach. I don't know if this has the makings of a team that should be compared to Tennessee and the Jets, like some of these really bad franchises, Carolina. Now, some of the cast of characters have changed, right? Cam Skattebo instead of Tyrone Tracy, Jaxson Dart instead of Russell Wilson, but the story is still the same. There are pieces there. And what the Giants have in an elite defensive line, and now some exciting, we'll see how it goes long term, some exciting pieces on offense, there's something there. And does this mean they'll be good? No, they will not be good. They shouldn't have beat the Chargers. Like, they weren't good in that game. They had 3.6 yards per play. That's bad. All right? It doesn't matter. We got the win. Fine. Get the win. I'm just saying that, even in that game, 3.6 yards per play ain't going to cut it. Okay? The Giants are still a bad team, still a below average team, not a playoff team. No, all that still rings true. But now they have life, right? They have hope. They have some belief.
I don't know. Obviously. But this is what they needed to do with Jaxson Dart, is to come up with a win. Don't go 0-4. Now, they go to New Orleans next.
Ooh.
They could go 2-3. They
Or
could go
1-4.
2-3 and have an opportunity to do something nobody thought they could do, which is get back to 500. And this is what the Giants wanted.
I hate when the schedule does this. When they do like division, when they do like Philadelphia, Denver, Philadelphia. I can't stand when they put divisional opponents like basically back to back. The Saints had that with Carolina a couple years ago, where they played Carolina in the third to last game of the year and then the last game of the year. I hate that.
To have happen with Jaxson Dart. He doesn't look overwhelmed. He does bring the swagger. He doesn't turn it over. He doesn't make the mistakes. He lets the defense do the rest. Check the box and do it against a 3-0 team of the Chargers that looked like world beaters. Back on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance in a second.
Go Big Blue.
And this is honestly, this is what's in the ether right now, guys. This is in the ether. I mentioned this on our Overreaction Monday podcast. I will say it here. You go to New Orleans, you keep them winless, you're 2-3.
Yep.
And what that means, if that happens, Jaxson Dart will take the field in MetLife again in week 6.
So I think the Saints win this game. I mean, I think the Saints beat the Giants, and the Saints, it's kind of one of those things where it's like the perfect storm narrative-wise. You've got the Giants, who the world just saw beat the Chargers, okay, who everyone had power rated super high. So you got the Giants beat the Chargers. You have Jaxson Dart, all this swag, okay, dripping. You got Cam Skattebo doing backflips, all that fun stuff. You got all that happening, and you got the lowly Saints. But if you look at the metrics, the analytics, all that stuff, it tells you a different story. Saints have been playing pretty well. Certainly could have beat Arizona. Certainly could have beat the 49ers. Had a chance to go into Buffalo and have a lead in the game with 9 minutes left. All right, but all people are going to see is 0-4. Simultaneously, the betting market, the Vegas markets, has moved the Saints from +2-ish, depends on where you shop. I've seen them as high as +2.5. As of Tuesday, they've now moved the Saints all the way to -2, trending towards 2.5. Okay? Early money's pouring in on the Saints. I got a sneaky feeling the public is going to be backing the Giants off of that win, and I think the Saints get their first win. Now, does that change any of what we just said about the Giants? No. Okay. And that's where the danger of that overreaction is. Where, now Rich is talking about 2-3 and then 3-3 and 4-3. Good chance they lose in New Orleans. All right. Now, does that mean that the Cam Skattebo, Jaxson Dart, Brian Daboll, Abdul Carter show is over? No. Like I said earlier, still a bad team, still a below average team, but at least now with Jaxson Dart, they have some hope.
On Thursday Night Football on Prime Video, the whole country watching with a chance to get back to 500 against the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon Barkley, coming back up the turnpike. And if the Philadelphia Eagles beat Denver at home next weekend, tall order, but if they do it, they'll be undefeated. Jaxson Dart can hand the Eagles their first loss of the season to get them back to 500 and just tell everybody in New Jersey and New York, I got this thing. I've got this thing. He's got to go to Denver and then visit Philadelphia after that. But just this right now, you got to take it week to week, even though I'm taking it in a 2-week chunk right here. This is in the ether. And it's not just Jaxson Dart. It's Cam Skattebo as well, who's scoring and just bouncing off of things like a Plinko chip, which, by the way, was Daniel Jeremiah's comp for him at the Combine. And he's...
The backflips in the end zone are the craziest part of this whole thing. I mean, when he runs violent, no doubt about it. Looks for contact, all that stuff's cool. He's really fun to watch. But him doing backflips and full pads in a helmet, nuts.
Flipping in the air and landing on his feet, and Giants fans can't get enough of this. And that's how we end this first hour, with an old-fashioned, yes, we actually got the graphics from our good friends at ESPN, thanks to Mike Foss and everybody there. The old Did You Know graphic. There it is.
Love the old school template.
The last time the Giants had two rookies rush for a touchdown in the same game, Week 10, 1980, when Larry Heater and Leon Perry did it. It's been 45 years since the Giants saw what we saw from Dart and Cam Skattebo. It's a different music, but I appreciate the effort.
That still took me back, though.
That's so sick. I love Did You Know?
Larry Heater, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Hey, you made it all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's amazing how fast a team can completely change, like, how they're viewed. When Russell Wilson was dinging passes off of the goalpost, it was like, man, the Giants again. Fans were leaving. Fans had their head in their hands. Surrender Cobra. Sad times in New York. 1 week later, I can't even imagine how many Jaxson Dart jerseys and Cam Skattebo cowboy collars are being sold in New York. Now, Jaxson Dart, when you are a quarterback in New York, you're the quarterback of the New York Football Giants. It's a difficult job. New York media is not for the weak of heart. But I got to tell you, I think at least right now, it seems like Jaxson Dart might be the perfect person for the New York media. He seems to relish in that spotlight and that kind of environment. And he got good tutelage with Lane Kiffin. I mean, I think the Giants have something for the future. I think they lose to New Orleans this week. I'm not the only one that holds that opinion. A lot of smart gamblers out there putting their money where their mouth is, moving the number. But I think Jaxson Dart might. I'm not going to sit here and say he's elite. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a superstar. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a Hall of Famer, the next whatever in New York. But it does feel different talking about the Giants right now than it did 2 weeks ago. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.